Are you sheltering in place, isolated, feeling alone? Well, then you're just like us.
Hit me.
From Studio P in Sausalito, the home of the quarantined hit, it's time for... Succotash Shut-In, the Soundcast stimulus package featuring snippets from comedy...
Soundcasts.
And now, here's your host for this episode, Tyson Saner.
Insaner.
Saluton. Estas me, Tyson Saner. Welcome to Succotash Shut-In, as this soundcast continues to be known into this new year, which is 2021. Welcome to Epi 236, the first show of 2021 that I've hosted. How has your year been so far? Yeah, I feel ya. We carry on because we must. And as we do, some of us look for distractions. Soundcasts, or podcasts as much of the world still refers to them, are one such type of distraction. Comedy is another type of distraction entirely. In fact, it is multiple types of distractions due to the subjective nature of comedy. Some of the content this Soundcast samples for you will be funny, but not to all of you. Technically, I'm not necessarily looking for funny content as I gather clips. I gravitate toward listening to people I find interesting. Maybe that's how you feel about it as well. Last week in Epi 235, my Soundcast co-host, or every other show host, Mark Hershon, brought you a quartet of clips from the Soundcasts Fantastic with Dana Carvey, Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, Auntie Donna podcast, and From the Oast House with Alan Partridge. It was a great episode, and I encourage you to listen to it if you have not already. It can be found on the show's website, www.succotashshow.com, as well as on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Laughable, and YouTube, audio only. This week in Epi 236, I've got clips from Love Alexi, Strange Times, and In the Envelope, the Actors Podcast. I've also got a strangely topical advertisement from our longtime fake sponsor, Henderson's Pants, and a reading from what will presumably be some of the last entries posted on trumpoetry.com. I have referred to trumpoetry.com many times over the years as the 100% fake sponsor with the 100% real website because I really want people to visit the website and appreciate the awesomeness of the work contained on it, created by Joe Paulino. It has been a hell of a journey. So let's get to the clips. First up, Love Alexi, a talk show for your ears and heart, from Alexi Wasser. The show description says, "My name is Alexi Wasser. I'm a writer, director, actress. This is my podcast where I speak to creative people who inspire me and discuss who they are, how they got there, sex, love, dating, feelings, life, and everything in between." I went back to 2016 for this one. In fact, December 21st is when the show dropped. I imagine it was recorded around that time. It features guest from Starburns Industry and Community, Dino Stamatopoulos. In this clip, they talk about that one time Mr. Stamatopoulos was almost a cast member of the show I Love Dick.
Then there's a first rehearsal in New York that they fly me out to. And it's the last test because Amazon wants to make sure, because it's a big part. And I've never had a big part before. And I said, sure, I understand that. And I'm supposed to, and we get on a big email chain with everyone, and it's a real actory, and it's like, oh, can you believe it? Woo-hoo, wee! Oh. You know, we're going to have so much fun. We're going to take off our shoes and and let's introduce each other, and everyone's doing goofy introductions. And I write, well, I guess I got this part unless I show up, with a lampshade on my head and read the lines backwards or something,
Oh no.
And they were like, ha ha ha, and they were joking about that. So I email the lead actress who I'm supposed to be married to, and I say, hey, let's get together for dinner beforehand because we're supposed to be married. Let's talk a little bit, And we meet at my favorite French restaurant, which is Lucien.
Oh, where's that?
On First and First in New York.
Oh, I think I've
really
been there.
Good, really good.
Oh my God. Wait, don't you live here most of the time?
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering how often you're there. We keep going.
So we go there, and I say, let's just talk. No wrong answers. She's like, I love it. No wrong answers. And I left out a big part, by the way. When I was in Chicago, and this is before I got the call from Jill Soloway, I met a fan who had heroin, and I'm like, I never tried heroin. And he's like, try it. So I try the heroin, and I hate it, and I feel sick.
Fuck. Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck heroin. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to try it once because I never tried it. So now you know where this is going. We meet at Lucien, and I say, you know, I'm not supposed to really be drinking right now. And she's like, oh, please, we're all going to be drinking tequila in Marfa, Texas, and everything. And I'm like, all right, I'll have a couple. I had a couple glasses of wine with my meal, and we started talking, and she started talking about how her brother was an ex-heroin addict, and she also worked with Philip Seymour Hoffman, who died in the middle of their project. And I said, well, you know, this is weird, but I tried heroin for the first time the other day, and I hated it. And she freaked out. Oh, no. And at that moment, I knew it's over. Oh. And I said, you don't want me to do this, do you? She's like, it's not up to me. It's not up to me. And I'm like, all right, okay. And we had dinner. I paid. But I knew.
Oh, man. Well, that makes me like you. Thank God. Okay, keep going. Thank you for including that. Okay, keep going.
But I knew, like, you know.
Oh, fuck.
So I'm waiting all night for the email saying, don't come in the next morning. And it never comes. And so I walk in to this rehearsal. It's at the new school. And Kevin Bacon's there. We hug, you know.
Yeah.
Everyone's, you know, happy. I'm like, all right, well, I guess whatever. So then the actress, Jill walks in, hugs me, all this. Then the actress walks in. She's a little distant. Ooh. And then her and Jill are gone. And the stage manager comes in, this woman, and she's like, do you have stuff? I said, what? Do you have stuff? And I'm like, what do you mean? Did you bring a bag or anything? Yeah. Why don't you grab it and follow me? I'm like, okay, this is it. And we walk outside, and it's me and Jill and her. And she's like, why would you do that? I said, I don't know. I guess I'm dumb. She's like, I can't hire you now. And I'm like, look, I'm sorry. And I didn't even want the part, really.
Fuck.
But it was just humiliating, you know. And then I'm thinking, well, what is my agent going to think? What does the Amazon think? You know?
What did they think? What did they think?
Well, my agent, you know, is my agent. So what is he going to say? He's like, well, whatever. You know, those are the breaks. I don't know what he thinks is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And Amazon, actually, I was up to write something for an Amazon show, and the head writer loved me. And then my agent said, Amazon wants to meet with you. And I'm like, is it because they think I'm And I went and met them, and they seemed nice, and they didn't mention anything. But I think they wanted to see if I was, like, struck out or something. But I ended up not getting it. But I don't know why exactly.
Yeah.
But
holy
yeah.
shit. And what do your friends say about that if you had just not said that thing at dinner?
Yeah, everyone thinks I'm a moron. But I can't help it. I just say what's on my mind.
Have you talked to anybody since? Have you talked to Jill Soloway since, or
no,
the actor, or anything? Or
no, she emailed me once saying, "I hope you're okay," and you know, I mean, everyone was really nice about it, but they just, you know, Jill Soloway has a problem. You know, I mean, she has an issue with addiction. You know.
Yeah.
And I think the lead actress did too.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. Holy shit!
Now, Love Alexi is apparently archived on Nerdist.com, so you can find it at archive.nerdist.com. Both Alexi Wasser and Dinos Stamatopoulos apparently are not on Twitter. At least Alexi Wasser does not appear to be, but you can go to her Instagram, which is her name, ALEXIWASSER. And there is what looks like Dinos Stamatopoulos' Twitter account, which is still on Twitter, but is just capital STAMATOPOULOS. Next up, Strange Times from Davian Dent, which of course is described as a weekly comedy and satirical podcast presented by Davian Dent, Kat Sorens, and Dom Risk. Yes, longtime listeners of both Succotash Shut-In and Succotash, the Comedy Soundcast forum, will recognize Strange Times, the Soundcast. We've had Davian Dent on as a guest before on Succotash, as well as on Antisocial Show, had him on there at least once, maybe twice. I think at least once. I think we're due for another visit. If he'll do it, that would be great. Anyway, the clip is from the most recent episode, as of right now, from January 12th, 2021. It's episode 369. It's called Lost in Translation, the episode. The description of the episode is extremely brief. It says, something, something, something bacon sandwich. And in the clip that I've got for you, the trio discuss the biggest news story of the new year and how they are reacting to it across the pond, as it were.
Damien, how was your lovely week?
My lovely week has been relatively free from stress and aggro, frankly, to be honest, which is nice, actually. No major drama. First week back at work, which was obviously a bit of a shit bag, but, you know, it only took me most of the first day to remember how to be nice to people on the phone and not constantly call them cunts. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's all right. Nothing major to report, really. Balls deep in audio editing at the moment because we've got a 12-episode run of The Skewer starting on Monday. No, actually, when does it go live? Oh, sometime next week. But yeah, been nuts. I mean, it's not as if there's been much in the way of content to nick from the news in the last week. Fuck me.
Been a bit quiet the last few days.
Yeah.
It's been barely a whisper of Orange 45 being a complete and utter fucking insurrection encouraging cant. Oh no, sorry, I'm lying. So, fuck me, yeah, when was it? Thursday that it all kicked off? Was it Thursday or Wednesday?
Whenever they were counting the electoral college votes.
Yeah. So,
the first piece of ridiculous... Oh, sorry, do you want to go?
I'd love to go, but I've got to do the show first. Yeah, just watching those... I was about to say protesters, but let's call them terrorists, 'cause that's what they are. Or to use less syllables, cunts. Watching those cunts invade, pathetically break down the doors at Capitol Hill building thingy.
While the police conveniently weren't really there.
Well, there weren't any black people there, so there's no point in having guns.
I know. Like Black Lives Matter protesters, they had fucking tear gas and fucking MRAPs and fucking everything else.
Yeah.
These dickheads turn up. Oh, there's one guy with a spud gun and another one with a walkie-talkie. Like, all right, in you go, fellas.
Yeah. Remember, it was a scuffle, not a riot, because of the skin tones.
Yes, indeed. And
it's a protest.
So I've been monitoring the news very carefully since for content for The Skewer coming to BBC Sounds and BBC Radio 4. God, that's a real announcer's voice, wasn't it? And now, raping children on BBC Radio. Oh, no, I'm never going to get a DJ job if I keep saying stuff like that, am I? Fucking hell. Anyway, I've been carefully monitoring the news, and I'll be honest, when I first saw this shit kicking off with the Capitol building, I all found it like a little bit scary and stuff. Not sort of like threatening scary, but scary as in how are these idiots getting away with it? Why hasn't the first sign of like more than 50 people turning up there looking a bit tasty? Why weren't the fucking big guys? Well, I mean, like we answered that a couple of minutes ago. There were no black people present, so it was just scary though. And then Trump doing his best to prove himself to be more of a fucking arse twat than he previously was. I mean,
it's a high bar.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, he'll say, "Oh yeah, go home," but it was still a fake election. But no, it wasn't. It's been legally and in any fucking way you can imagine being proved it hasn't. He's going to take that to his deathbed, isn't it? And do you know what? Do you know what? I am going to risk a few karma points here. I hope his deathbed comes in fairly soon. I don't say that lightly.
No.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I want to kill him or that I would
the
want
IRS $100 million of personal debt which he can't shed. So that's I'd like to see him bankrupt, and I'd like to see Mar-a-Lago and all these Trump buildings just fucking being sold. That'd be excellent. Well, he's like, oh, little Donny's outside. Oh, I've got a bit more money. And Deutsche Bank saying, yeah, well, you owe us $400 million, fuckface. Where is it?
Or what you could do is you could turn the Trump Towers into a refuge for homeless black people. He'd love that, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
Well, they would.
Well, yeah, they would.
Turn into a refugee centre. Yeah, that'd be great.
And now he's breaking with tradition and saying, I'm not going to the inauguration handover. And, like Biden, Boogaloo, whatever his fucking name is, he's a bit of an unknown quantity in as much as we don't really know what he's going to be like. But he did...
Obama.
But he did say... But he was really cool with him saying, well, do you know what? That's the only thing we agree on. I'm glad he's not coming.
Their main website is www.strangetimesshow.com. You can find the show on Twitter at *STRANGE, *TSHOW. Davy and Dent can be found on Twitter at all lowercase DAVIANDENT. Kat Soren's account, I believe, is at MABVUKU, but I think the account is suspended. And Dom Risk is at Dom Risk, all lowercase DOMRISK.
This is the sound of power. This is the sound of confidence. This is the sound of style. This is the sound of liberty. This is the sound of security. This is the sound of Henderson's pressure cooker pants. In today's world, the simple act of living your life can unexpectedly lead to serious, even lethal consequences. That's why you need Henderson's pressure cooker pants. The power of heavy-duty stainless steel plating, combined with the flexibility of airtight silicone gasket sealants, create a fit that's comfortable, stylish, and able to withstand near-field medium to moderate explosions without missing a step. Fight back. Put the power of the pressure cooker to work for you with Henderson's DHS approval-pending pressure cooker pants, slacks, and athletic wear. Originally designed for executive chef assistants, marathon runners, and the military, Henderson's pressure cooker pants are available wherever fine culinary accessories and Army surplus and survival gear are available. That's Henderson's, cooking up the best in protective fashion wear since 1863. And now back to more of Succotash. This episode of Succotash is sponsored in part by TrumPoetry.com, a chronological ode to a fake muse. Enjoy a rhyming spin on the news of the day every day, as well as over 500 archived daily verses thoroughly covering the White House, America, and the world with a sticky caramel coating that's impossible to remove. That's TRUMPoetry.com. Everything you need to know in rhyming couplets. TrumPoetry.com.
Yes, TrumPoetry.com. So I've got a bit of a selection for you this episode, being as this will be one of the last episodes to feature TrumPoetry.com. Presumably, as I said in the intro, anything can happen at this stage. We'll see what happens, as Orange 45 would say. The first one is from the first of the year. So it's from January 1st, 2021. It's number 19, counting backwards, and it goes like this. Staring at the TV in a daze, celebrating in more subdued ways. For some it's quite clear, the real new year begins in just 19 more days. Yep. And then on the 7th, number 13. A call to arms, a march to stop the steal, and then what Rudy calls trial by combat disrupts the House and Senate's sacred format. A terrorist in Mitch's seat. Surreal. A coup attempt results in people dying. A nation holds its breath. A world observes. A demagogue makes clear just who he serves, followed by governmental speechifying. Unlucky us with 13 days to go. The 25th Amendment in our dreams. Unfit to lead, too sick to leave, it seems. What some of us knew all along, you know. 4 years McConnell bowed to Trump's authority, and for his efforts lost Senate majority. And I got a couple more short ones. From the 8th, number 12. His calling for calm, I don't buy it. Impeachment, I think we should try it. He was cheering them on. He deserves to be gone. That asshole incited a riot. And then skipping ahead to the 14th, which was just a few days ago from when I'm recording this, number 6. That small-handed lying-ass boaster got a double impeachment spit roaster. He was hoping for his face on Rushmore, but may end up on a wanted poster.
Right? Right.
And our final offering tonight is a soundcast called In the Envelope, the Actors Podcast. From Backstage. Its show description says, Backstage has been the #1 resource for actors and talent seekers for 60 years. In the Envelope, Backstage's podcast features intimate, in-depth conversations with today's most noteworthy film, television, and theater actors and creators. This is your guide to every aspect of acting, from voiceover and commercial work to casting directors, agents, and more. Full of both know-how and inspiration, In the Envelope airs weekly to cover everything from practical advice on navigating the industry to how your favorite projects are made to personal stories of success and failure alike. Join host Jack Smart, awards editor at Backstage, for this guide on how to live the creative life from those who are doing it every day. The clip is taken from an episode from July 16th, 2020. Going back a ways. The show is split up into 2 interviews. First half is with Eugene Merman, and the second half is with John Roberts. Both are from the TV show Bob's Burgers. As it says in the episode description, if voicing a character on a hit animated sitcom is your idea of a dream job, let this deep dive into both voiceover and comedy be your guide. Eugene Merman and John Roberts, both voice actors on Fox's Emmy Award winner Bob's Burgers, join us to map out how they broke into the biz and offer advice for those looking to do the same. Their paths were different, but their advice is the same. Create and test out the material that best showcases your talent. Lauren Bouchard's animated family comedy Bob's Burgers has run for 10 delightful seasons, featuring Eugene as son Gene Belcher and John as matriarch Linda Belcher. Eugene is also known for his work on Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Flight of the Conchords, and Delocated, and for the alternative stand-up comedy he has helped turn into a movement. John, a musician as well as theater and commercial actor, made a name for himself writing and performing in popular web sketches. This clip features audio from the John Roberts portion of the interview. I did, of course, listen to the entire episode as I do with every soundcast I sample, and I recommend you do the same.
Hey, it's Linda.
Hi. Wow, rejoining us is Linda.
All right. I have some tricks up my sleeve here in my home studio.
Well, I actually was going to ask, so how does the home studio work? We actually are interested in any advice you have for voiceover actors or people who are brand new to voiceover. Like, what goes into creating a voiceover studio right there in your home?
Well, I've always had music equipment and Logic, samplers, that kind of thing. And I have the Apollo Twin, which is an audio interface. And it hooks up right up to your Logic. And it's a really great interface that you can use. You can hook a mic right into it. It hooks right up to your laptop. Or they have smaller other ones that are, maybe less expensive. There's an Apogee, I think. Apogee. That's the brand. It's another microphone that will hook right into your laptop, and you can have the same effect of microphone and headphones. That usually works with GarageBand. And I think in terms of me getting into voiceovers, because I wasn't really... I didn't have like a big voiceover agent, and I just kind of stumbled into it through my characters on YouTube and my live shows that I created a lot of voices and characters and developed that way. So there's a lot of ways you could go, about coming up with dialects or characters, and it's really how you're comfortable doing it, and how you're comfortable learning or expressing yourself. And I'd say there's TikTok now. You have really cool ways to put yourself out there and be original, try to do something outside of the box. And most agents will listen to someone that has a lot of hits or getting a lot of attention. It's a good way to get into the door, which is how I kind of got in through the YouTube videos. And it was a great way to be cast.
Right.
Lauren is very smart to write for the people that he's cast. So it's a great way to write a show based on characters and people that could play the characters, and you could see them in your head when you're writing it. So that really worked for me getting cast in this. because that's not everyone does that. But I think more people are starting to do that. It makes more sense than to just write someone that you're not specifically writing for. And
then audition a bunch of people.
Yeah. Or, write for a type of a person, write specifically for someone, I think is a smarter thing to do. Auditions, I'm not really great at auditioning. I don't really audition very much. And I don't have an agent right now. I don't have a manager. I'm just really doing bobs and making my own connections, which has really worked for me in terms of pitching shows and doing that kind of thing. I think people, you find that usually you're the one that's going to make the connections. Your agents aren't really going to do that very much. I mean, maybe I've just had some bad agents, but a lot of people do rely on your personal connections, and you always have to have that be a part of it to make things happen. I think like the best stuff happens through your personal relationships, and the agents and managers are there to kind of take it from there and go. But it's at the end of the day, I think Bob's puts me in a unique position too. So I'm lucky in that sense where I can afford to do that in a sense. But I've never been a fan of auditioning, even when I was just struggling, and always more about making my own product or doing my own thing and putting it out there. Right. So not that I haven't auditioned, and I've had some good ones. I've had some really bad ones, but it's not my favorite thing to do.
Right. Would you say auditioning is a skill?
It's definitely a skill, and commercial auditioning is especially a skill. They're two different beasts. I would say take a class. There's some great ones that, for auditioning for commercials. And I always had such low self-esteem after leaving commercial auditions, and really really, because you're up the night before and you're, learning these weird lines, and then you don't even, it's just, I'm very bad at knowing where to look. And there's so many technical things that you have to do in commercials. And I always just felt like a mess. Like, how am I going to sell anything? So, but I think I booked one or two commercials, and they pay so well that obviously you want to book a commercial. So
gotcha. It was worth the investment in the class and in the endless auditions.
Yeah, everything's a learning process. You're not, they're saying they're going to pay you a lot of money to do stuff in acting. It's so hard to make money, and so of course but at some point you have to decide if you're really cut out for it. I think I'm way better for theater and live stuff.
Gotcha.
And it's taken me a long time to kind of figure that out.
So you can find John Roberts on Twitter at John Roberts Fun. That's capital JOHN, capital ROBERTS, capital FUN. Eugene Merman is at capital EUGENE, capital MIRMAN. And you can find host Jack Smart's Twitter handle at capital JACK, capital SMART, capital WRITES. That is Jack Smart Writes. The show is on Twitter at In the Envelope. That is INTHEENVELOPE. And Backstage is BACKSTAGE. And here we are together again at the end of the episode. I do hope you found something enjoyable in tonight's offering. Next week, Mark Hershon will be at the helm of Epi 237, and I'm hoping you will come back to us then, and the following week, where I will presumably be hosting episode 238. Sometimes I don't really know what to say at the end of these. I want to wish you all a happy week, or as happy as you can make it. Mental health is important. I'm still in production of my coming Soundcast, Happiness, or something like it, and my plan is to have it released before my next episode of Succotash Shut-In, but, as I often say, life happens, so I'm not going to beat myself up too much if that doesn't work out. I'll let you know when it comes out on my Twitter, which is at REVT23. It will most likely be on my personal SoundCloud, which you can find a link to at www.tysonsaner.com, or by going to SoundCloud and typing Tyson Saner, which, by the way, is TYSONSANER into the search. You can also find links to my YouTube channel and my wife's YouTube channel there, and we'd appreciate it if you'd drop by and give our content a look. There's a whole archive to be perused. As far as Succotash Shut-In goes, we'd really appreciate it if you could take a moment to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, or wherever other folks might read it. You'll be doing us a big favor if you do. Sharing us is one of many ways you can show us you care. It's also what we mean when we implore you to please Pass the Succotash.
You've been listening to Succotash Shut-In, the Soundcast Stimulus Package, with your host, Tyson Saner. Brought to you by Henderson's Pants, TrumPoetry.com, and imagine your company's name right here. Find us on the web at SuccotashShow.com, on iTunes, on Stitcher, on iHeartRadio, on YouTube, on SoundCloud, on the Laughable app, and tattooed on your mother's rear end. You can hear us streaming and like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Succotash Show. Email us at tyson@succotashshow.com or call into the Succotash Skype line at our toll call number 818-921-7212.
The number again is 818-921-7212.
You can also upload clips from your favorite comedy soundcasts directly to us using our direct upload link at hightail.com/u/Succotash. Production of Succotash is overseen by Joe Paulino through the auspices of Studio P Sausalito, the home of the hit. Our hosts are Mark Hershon and Tyson Saner. Our musical director is Scott Carvey. Our booth assistant is still Kenny Durgis. And until next time, I'm your loyal booth announcer, Bill Haywatt, reminding you to please wash your hands and pass the Succotash. Goodbye. This has been a Succotash Patch production.